Okay, so here's my double feature review of two movies. The reason why I do these are because if I don't do them now, I won't get to do them at all. So, there you go. Okay, so I'm going to be reviewing two movies, Dybreakers and It's Complicated. Now I have to try and speak a bit faster because I've got a lot of things to do before I go out at 11 in the morning. I have to do something, so gotta speak that fast. Okay, so let's start off with Dybreakers. Dybreakers, I think we know the story by now. Vampires run out of blood, and they have to find a blood substitute, and Ethan Hawke's character has to try and find that, or a cure. And he is helped by the humans. Now the film stars Willem Dafoe, Sam Neill and Ethan Hawke, and the girl robot out of Transformers. And I went to see this with my two friends after we went sledging, which I really wish I hadn't because I almost froze my hands off. Went to see it with Tony and Jordan. There's your shout out. Now I actually really enjoyed this film for a couple of reasons. The storyline is great. You know, it's an original piece of vampire film. It's not Twilight crap. You know, it's been clogging up mainstream cinemas, and I actually really enjoyed where the film went with. Maybe not its plot twist or anything like that, but, you know, its storyline was fine. It was original and it was something different. I also really enjoyed the action scenes in this movie. There are a couple that are really stupid, but there are some really new kind of ones. You know, there's one where a vampire army is tracking down Ethan Hawke's character and two of the humans, and instead of dodging the bullets, he's got to dodge the light that comes through the bullet holes. As we know, vampires get burnt by the sun, and I really enjoyed that. But the one thing the two things I really liked about this film that really surprised me is that this has created a world for the vampires to live in. It's not set in New York, it's not set in Chicago or San Francisco or England or somewhere in France. You know, that's where all the vampires live. So I really like that, and yes, a lot of people have been saying this is more of a sci-fi film in that sense, and I agree. It's a lot like films like Dark City, which is amazing. And also, the film doesn't have two-dimensional characters. You know, it really does have characters to feel for, to actually make you think a bit, actually makes you want to care. Get to the end, find the blood substitute and not die. You know, they really make you feel for them, and I really like that, because a lot of these films that come out, they have one-dimensional characters who just do nothing. They're there for no purpose, but all the characters in this film are here for a reason, and I like that. The film does have some problems for sure. It needs a bit more polish, I think, and I hate it that I have to compare this film to about every other type of movie that this has. What was the other one? Surrogates last year. This looks exactly the same. There's no difference. Not the storyline, but visually, there's absolutely no difference. And storyline wise, I can sort of compare this to films like Equilibrium. I kind of think of it like that. Same with Surrogates, but it's like that. It's films that look similar. It needs a bit more polish. The special effects are a bit dodgy. I know it didn't have a lot of money, but hey ho. Also, the film, I would like to have seen the world being talked about a bit more. You know, it's only set in one place. It's not the entire world. It'd be fine if that was the entire world, but it's not. But Dybreakers, even though it doesn't have a lot of character development and it needs to expand a bit and needs a bit more polish, it's still a very enjoyable film. If you haven't seen it already, go see it. It's a lot of word of mouth has been coming out saying, hey, this is a pretty good film, go see it. And I agree, it's only a pretty good film though. Don't be shocked by it, but do be surprised a bit how actually good this film is. 7 out of 10. Okay, second review is of It's Complicated. Now this one stars Meryl Streep, Alec Baldwin, I'm really itchy, and Steve Martin, and it's directed by Nancy Meyers. Now I have to say, I'm a Nancy Meyers fan. You call me a 40-year-old middle-aged woman if you like, but I like her. She is a good filmmaker. She makes the type of films that I just feel real comfortable with. I go to the cinema and I know what I'm getting into. And for this, definitely knew what I was getting into. A rom-com from Nancy Meyers that is a bit more filthy than usual. And I really enjoyed this film, surprisingly. I know a lot of people have been saying, meh, it's probably her worst film. But of the last few years, Nancy Meyers really hasn't made a good movie. It's The Holiday, not particularly great. But this film, as we probably already know from the trailer or any poster that we've seen, Alec Baldwin and Meryl Streep were married, but then they got split up. After 10 years, they've come together again and they are having an affair because Alec Baldwin is already married to another woman, and now she's having an affair with the person he used to be married to. And then a love triangle comes in with Alec Baldwin and Steve Martin, who is her architect, trying to build her new home and her new kitchen. And that's basically the storyline. The best parts of these films are just in a couple of scenes, and I'll mention them later on, but this is what really makes this film work, is the chemistry between Alec Baldwin, Meryl Streep and Steve Martin. They really work together, and they're really funny on screen, and a great relationship on screen, probably because they have a great relationship off screen. I would think that they are so funny on screen, but they're probably so funny off screen as well, and I think that's what makes this film kind of work. Now, it's a Nancy Meyers movie. It was going to be a simple plot, it's complicated. It ain't that complicated, believe me, but it is very funny for the most part. Now, I was sitting in the cinema. I was the youngest one there. I am 15 going on 16. I think my mum was the second youngest. She was about 45. It was a lot of middle-aged women in that cinema. But it's really aimed at Nancy Meyers fans of any age. If you are a Nancy Meyers fan, you should go see this film. But yes, I knew what I was getting in with a Nancy Meyers film, and through the film I was sitting there and there were just a couple of amusing parts, and I thought, is this only going to be amusing? Because I've heard from Durden25 that this film isn't really all that funny, but then it was just slightly amusing in that scene, and I went, oh Jesus, it's going to be for the entire movie. And then the film just got funnier and funnier with the pot smoking scene and the webcam scene. Even though you've seen those scenes in the trailer, they're still downright hilarious in this film. It's an audience experience, it's a funny movie, it's an entertaining movie, even though I think it has problems. One, it's really immature. Some parts are involving semen are really immature and silly and really are not funny one bit. It also feels a bit long sometimes, but it is sort of like just a guilty pleasure, and hell, I enjoyed the movie. Call me a 40-year-old middle-aged, middle-crisis person thing, but hell, I like Nancy Meyers movies. They're guilty pleasures to me, just like some stupid American horror movies are to me. I like them. What can I say? It's a 7 out of 10, same as Dybreakers. It's an enjoyable movie, and if you haven't seen it, it's probably out your cinema, so either Netflix it, watch it on the internet, or wait for it to come out in DVD and rent it, because it is the perfect rental. I enjoyed these movies, and I hope you take this into consideration if you at all think of seeing these films, which I recommend you should. So I'll see you next time.
Don't be afraid, it's all